Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Dawson, and in today's video, we are going to talk about the top 5 dog breeds that I absolutely hate. And before you roast me in the comments, this is meant to be satire and meant to be funny. And if you don't think it's funny or don't think it's satirical, then why don't you just kind of skip down the line and go to the next video, because this video will be making fun of 5 different dog breeds. And I do just want to say this is my opinion. This is not fact. I'm sure there are dog breeds and examples of these breeds that I'm going to talk about that are better and worse. So this is just my opinion of the dogs that I see every day. And this is meant to be funny. This is not hating on people who like these breeds, but let the hating begin.
Time for the roast.
So, the number 1 breed that I hate is French Bulldog. And the reason that I hate French Bulldogs, number 1 reason is this sound. Right here. Yeah, that one. Who can live with that? I don't know. Anyway. One of the other things that is really hard is that they're really prone to allergies, and 90% of them really should have facial reconstructive surgery so that they can actually breathe through their mouth, instead of making that horrible noise because they have no room to breathe. And because they can't really exercise it without, collapsing and dying because they can't breathe, they also tend to get fat, which I also don't really like. And then they get skin fold dermatitis, and then they stink. And then they make you really itchy every time you walk into the same room as them. Is that a little judgy? That sounds a little judgy. Oh, well. Oh, and if that isn't bad enough, I guess this might be the worst part. Let me tell you a little secret. French Bulldog farts are the worst. Yeah. Oh, the absolute worst. Now that the fun-making part of this part is over, let me talk about some of the really big major problems with the breed. And the technical term for this type of breed is brachycephalic. And basically, brachycephalic syndrome is what happens when a dog has a really short snout. And with that short snout comes a really long, soft palate. And that's the piece of tissue that kind of goes on the roof of your mouth all the way back to the back of your throat. And in dogs like brachycephalic breeds, they don't have they have a really long one. And actually, it'll go so far that it can block their larynx. And so they can't breathe through it. They also tend to have really meaty throats that have way too much tissue for the size that they are. Their noses have a tendency to be a lot smaller. And these really small nose holes make it also really hard to breathe. And also, if that's not enough, their tracheas often are really small, and they have a hypoplastic trachea. So there are a lot of different reasons that brachycephalic dogs have a lot of problems. They also tend to be very sensitive to stress, heat, anesthesia. They're more prone to being overweight, all because they can't get enough oxygen, they can't breathe well, they're hard to intubate. And somewhat this is probably a result of irresponsible breeding, and they do also tend to have a myriad of other health concerns, such as skin problems, ear infections. And to be realistic, if you intend to buy a Frenchie, make sure you have the money to take care of them. And it could be several $1,000s a year just to keep up with their medical bills, depending on what problems they end up with. Now, the next breed is a little bit different. So this breed is more of like a bug-eyed alien animal that some people actually question if they really are aliens or if they're from Earth. We don't really know yet. It's still out in the literature, if they're actually an alien or if they're actually a dog breed. And this is a pug, by the way.
Back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face.
And if you ever decide to get a pug and leave them home, while you're gone, just be careful they can't get to your bed, because they really like to poop on your bed if you're gone. So, yeah, good luck cleaning that up when you get home. Overall, pugs are, very sweet breeds oftentimes, and if you like kissing an alien life form, they're the perfect dog breed for you. And the other really great thing about pugs is that if you are kind of, on the homelier side of things, so to speak, your pug won't care because most likely they've already lost their eyesight anyway. Okay, seriously though, pugs do have quite a few medical problems as a breed, and some of the things that they tend to have problems with is, again, they're a brachycephalic breed, just like French Bulldogs, which means that they have a lot of the same respiratory problems. To be perfectly honest, we had a pug just die, with healthy pug there for routine surgery when I was in school, and it was just in a kennel, and it just obstructed and died. No reason. And one of the other things that's really big with pugs is actually eye problems. So their eyes stick out of their socket a little bit, and it's called exophthalmos. And this is because their eye sockets tend to be much more shallow than a normal dog. And so instead of it being most of the eye in the eye socket, it actually ends up being the majority or a big part of the eye is actually sticking out. And so this means that they're at a high risk for ocular proptosis or traumatic proptosis, where their eye will actually just pop right out of the socket. And they often can't close their eyes fully at night, and so they're prone to getting ulcers and other significant eye problems. And for some reason, they tend to have a vindictive personality. I don't know why, but they do. So just keep that in mind if you go and visit this alien life form.
I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd known for just 1 second, you'd be back to bother me.
So this breed of dog you walk up to on the street and you don't know if it's a pile of blankets or a dog, and till it gets up and just attacks you because you're in the same vicinity as it. This is the Sharpay. Sharpays make great guard dogs, and the reason is that as soon as somebody who shouldn't be there walks into your house, they'll be greeted with this instant sensation of itching and needing to sneeze, and an odor that you can't quite describe. And, oh, wait. Really? Oh, that guy over there just said that's really just the skin infection that most Sharpays have. Sharpays have this excess of this protein called hyaluronan, which really helps with the elasticity of skin and hydration of skin. But when there's too much, it produces extreme wrinkles, especially in puppies. And because of these extra wrinkles, Sharpays tend to be very prone to getting skin fold dermatitis or other derm problems because there's just so much moisture that'll get trapped in those skin folds. And one of the other really big problems in Sharpays is a disease called entropion. And this is where the eyelids will actually roll in on themselves. And if you've ever got an eyelid in your eye, you know how painful that is. But Sharpays tend to get it where the whole eyelid rolls in, and it's all that hair that will scrape against their eye. And so this often will cause ocular ulcers and other eye problems. So the next dog breed everybody says is cute, but I don't really see it, I guess. I just, not my cup of tea, okay, guys? It's okay. So let's talk about English Bulldogs. You know, those dogs that you look at and they're really sweet, but that underbite you could basically fit the whole state of Texas in. If not Texas and Alaska. Yeah, that one. Oh, and for whatever reason, they're also allergic to the whole world. Yeah, the last one I ran an allergy panel on, it basically came back and it said, send to the moon, allergic to Earth. They also are a brachycephalic breed and tend to be prone to a lot of those same problems. And they also are pretty prone to entropion, just like the Sharpays, and cherry eye and hip dysplasia and heart conditions. So they're also built like this guy. No, that guy. Yeah, that one. So they're a little weird looking. Again, they've been just kind of neglected as a breed, and they've had a lot of different problems, and they just tend to continue having lots of problems. So, yeah. So the next one, Huskies. What's wrong with a Husky? There's nothing wrong with a Husky. Huskies are great. They do have a few health problems, and we'll talk about those in a second, but mostly they just act like a 10-year-old schoolboy on meth. Yeah. They do anything they want. They can't be contained. They only sleep after they've had 22.56 hours of exercise, and they really, really like to destroy things. So yeah, a 10-year-old boy on meth. Just the same. Not a good combination. And as a breed, they can be really good, and they just tend to be slightly spasmodic, somewhere bordering on the seizure threshold.
Come on, get out of the bathtub. Come on. Let's go for a walk.
Not well behaved because they're really a working dog. And if you ever want a dog that you want to do 3 foreign bodies on in the same year, make sure you get a Husky, because you'll guaranteed get at least 2 opportunities, and you can be really hoping for that third. They really just shouldn't be kept as house pets in a lot of cases, just because they need places to run, they need lots and lots of exercise, and really just shouldn't be kept as house pets, to be perfectly honest. Not that there aren't good examples, there are, but just, they're like a 10-year-old boy on meth. I mean, come on. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you are a hater like me, because clearly if you made it to this part, you are a hater like me, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what dog breeds you dislike, and if there are some that I missed, or if there are breeds that you own and you agree or disagree with me on any one of these things. So remember, this is satire. Let's just have some fun with it. We roast people all the time on social media in general, so just realize this isn't fun. This isn't out to get anybody in particular. Just in general hating on dog breeds that I dislike. If you haven't already, or if you didn't know, I do have a Patreon, and that link is in the description below. So far, there are 0 supporters, which is okay. But if you are the first one, we will figure something out to be a special first. So if you are that person, we'll be in contact over Patreon, and that should be exciting. Have a fantastic rest of your day, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.